Yo guys, quick update. And this one's actually kinda exciting. Baron Zemo is finally making his way into the 7-star pool. Yeah, that's right. Zemo mains, your time is coming. And guess what? The game team actually heard us for once. They're fixing some of the bugs that have been messing with his kit before he drops as a 7-star. Took him long enough, right? But hey, better late than never. Alright, listen up. Baron Zemo is honestly such an underrated banger of a champ. A lot of people out there love this guy, and not just because he looks cool, he's actually got some slick utility. But here's the thing. Most folks didn't even know he's been bugged for a while. Yep, Zemo's been low-key broken in a not-so-fun way, and the players who ride hard for him, they've been waiting on a fix forever. Well, good news. The wait's finally over. So yeah, Kabam finally decided to fix him up and drop him as a 7-star real soon. Like, we're talking August, maybe? That's what it's looking like. And here's the interesting part. In the clip they showed, Zemo was rocking those new relics. So maybe that's a hint? Could be those relics are dropping in August too. Just saying. Something big might be cooking next month. Also, just so you know, the game team actually posted all this on their forums too. So if you want to check it out yourself, I'll drop the link in the description for you. But don't worry, you don't got to go digging through all that. We're going to break it all down right here in this video. Alright, let's get into the meat of it. Zemo actually had two major bugs going on. The first one, it's tied to one of his synergies. Now on paper, this synergy sounds awesome, right? It goes like this. Thunderbolt champions gain plus 3% perfect block chance and take 5% less damage from special attacks for each Thunderbolt on the team. And if you're fighting villains, those bonuses are doubled. Sounds like a sweet boost, especially if you stack Thunderbolts. But here's the catch. Something went totally sideways. Instead of reducing damage from special attacks, it was actually causing Zemo and his Thunderbolt buddies to take 5% more damage. Yeah, more, not less. Brutal, right? Luckily, Kabam's finally cleaning that up. So once it's fixed, that synergy will actually do what it says, mitigate special attack damage, even when you block. Overall, a nice little bump to Zemo's survivability, especially in longer quests or tougher content. Now the second bug Zemo has? This one's a little more niche and kinda technical, but it actually matters a lot for the people who know how to play him right. So here's how the ability is supposed to work. Whenever the opponent purifies a debuff or is immune to an effect, Zemo gains a Fury buff that boosts his next hit's attack by 200%. Max stacks 15. Sounds like a banger mechanic, right? Especially against champs that purify or have immunities. But here's where things get buggy. If multiple purifies or immunities trigger at once, like say Zemo throws his special one on a bleed immune opponent while they're rooted and tries to drop 7 bleeds at the same time, it bugs out. Instead of stacking up Furies for the next big hit, those Furies get applied immediately to that same special hit. And they vanish. No icon, no real benefit, just gone. The hit basically eats the Furies before you even see them. Now to explain this better, let's talk about a common example, fighting Photon. So usually, as Zemo ramps up to around 1.5 bars of power, Photon's already got enough debuffs stacked to trigger Zemo's first root. Boom, you get the opening, and you drop the special one. Right now, because of the bug, that final hit of SP1 hits really hard, because all those Fury buffs are stacking instantly and boosting that final hit. But that's not how it's supposed to work. After the fix, only one Fury will boost that final hit, and the other 7 Furies from the bleed attempts will stack after, setting up your next attack to slap hard. So your next medium, for example, will carry all that Fury juice instead. Damage-wise, nothing's really lost. That final hit and your medium hit have almost the same base damage anyway. It's just shifting the big numbers from one hit to the next. So overall, DPS stays the same, but now the Furies will behave properly and be more predictable. Now look, I know some of y'all are probably wondering, is this gonna mess up Zemo's balance? Will his damage take a hit? And honestly, not really. Kabam said they did a full check on the balance before pushing this fix. They tested it thoroughly. Damage output, ease of use, all that good stuff. And the impact is actually super minor. Zemo's damage is still pretty much the same, maybe even a bit better in the right hands. And as for ease of use, it's still solid. maybe slightly lower in some niche cases, but nothing that's going to throw off your gameplay. The real trade-off shows up in those specific matchups where you drop an SP1 on a bleed immune, rooted opponent. Before, you got all your fury damage instantly on that big SP1 hit. Now, you've got to actually land a follow-up hit to cash in on those furies, but they're still there, and they hit just as hard. And here's the cool part. This opens up new strategy potential, especially in Battlegrounds. That first SP1 into root, it usually lines up with the moment you gain access to your striker. So now, you can use those stacked furies on your striker and your next medium. Since striker hits don't count as Zemo's own attacks, the furies stick around until your next swing. That's clean setup for some real burst damage. So, yeah, Kabam said they felt it was really important to fix these bugs because they were messing with how Zemo interacts with other mechanics in the game. Especially that second bug. It was basically giving him these instant buffs that don't even exist anywhere else in the game. That led to some weird, unintuitive stuff, or straight-up missed opportunities, like how only after this fix can Zemo actually stack his furies and use them alongside strikers properly. Anywhere synergies are active, Zemo's opponents will now deal less special attack damage instead of more. Against bleed immune and rooted champs, Zemo will now correctly gain his furies after the final hit of his SP1. That just shifts the big hit from the SP1 to his next attack. And against any champ that doesn't trigger a ton of immunities or purifies at once, Zemo's furies will keep working the same way. All of this goes live with the 52.0 update on August 5th. Oh, and Kabam ended their post by saying, Baron Zemo looks good in purple. I mean, they're not wrong. So yeah, Zemo mains, it's time to rise. The bugs are getting squashed, the 7-star version is coming, and that purple drip, still undefeated. Let me know what you think about these changes. W buff? Too little too late? Or are you about to start cooking with Zemo in Battlegrounds now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you're hyped for the 7-star version. And hey, if you're new around here, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any more deep dives, updates, or spicy MCO takes. Alright, I'm out, but as always, keep grinding, keep flexing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.